From Forex Traders Daily, this is your daily analysis with Ross Mullins, live from Richmond, Virginia.
Hello everyone, this is today's video analysis for October 30th, 2017. I hope you had a great weekend and ready to get started trading this week. In today's video, I'm going to do a general overview of each of the U.S. currency pairs in anticipation of this week's trading. And I'm going to highlight some of the key levels that we will be looking for entry and exit opportunities. Now, this week's news calendar is packed full of high-impact economic data releases. So as always, be sure to use appropriate risk management strategies in all trade setups. Let's get started here on the USD CHF to dollar franc. We've seen a pretty strong move higher here for this currency pair. Along the red trend line, we can see pushing all the way and challenging above the parity level 1.0 last week. Now we've seen a pretty decent pullback from challenging that resistance high into the 0010, 1.0030 level, the pink shaded area, towards the top of the chart. There's a yellow horizontal line here. That's right at the parity level, and again, that's right underneath there. Historically, you can see the circles back here showing resistance underneath that pink zone and the parity level, of course. So we would expect to see that today. Let's go ahead and zoom it in a little bit. And as we do, we can see Friday's candle, very interesting candle closing on Friday. The smaller body, very strong wick on the top, showing that there was this infusion of sell orders. That's what we typically talk about in the trade room. When we see a candle like that, it shows the bulls were in control, and suddenly there was this infusion of sell orders and the potential for some short or maybe even longer term pullback or reversal. So what I would be looking for today, as long as it's underneath there, we may be looking for resistance underneath the 1.0 level, the yellow line, the pink shaded area, and we could be looking for some further pullback down towards the blue zone, which it's already been there today, or maybe even lower back towards the red trend line in the purple shaded area into the 9900 level. So I don't think I would look for a long or buy scenario, even though the trend's up, a buy scenario underneath that pink zone, the parity level 1.0, that close to it. I don't think you'd look for a long. I think we need some sort of pullback. It's been a pretty strong uptrend, so some sort of pullback is really what I'm looking for any new buy opportunities in the direction of the trend, back to the blue zone or even back down here towards the purple shaded area. Intraday wise, it could be an opportunity to have a low risk, high reward opportunity to go short as close as possible to 1.0, maybe even into 1.005, 0010, and that gives us a little opportunity to go short with a low risk. We just don't want it to break back above the pink zone if we decide to go short here on the franc today. Let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame, and that doesn't really change it. We could see somewhat of a bearish engulfing candle on Friday, and then of course any rally or challenge back here towards the pink zone becomes an opportunity to go short. We talked about an example on that on Friday. Take a look down here where the black circle is. It's a very similar price action setup that we had last time here inside the black circle. A strong bullish move, a strong bearish candle, a rally back into about 50% of that move, and then the fall down to the yellow zone. So wouldn't that be interesting if a very similar situation happened up here? So again, that means we're looking for a short opportunity, close as possible, yellow line, pink shaded area, to target the blue zone or the purple zone for the next pullback for the dollar franc. Moving over to the euro dollar, we've had a significant opportunity for some profit, having well over 200 pips of profit here on the euro dollar over the past few days. Several opportunities over the past couple of weeks to go short, head and shoulders pattern. We've been studying that. And as discussed in the trade room on Friday, I don't think it's very difficult to see this have some sort of pullback, profit taking this week, especially with all the news that we have on the calendar, even back towards the 1.17 level. That would still be well within the parameters of the head and shoulders pattern, a pullback to 1.17. The blue shaded area, just at the bottom of these boxes, where the blue circles are, that support low. 100 period moving average, zooming in a little bit, 100 period moving average sitting there as well. So I don't think it'd be difficult to see it back up here, upper 116s towards 117 for a pullback before we have an opportunity to go short again for the euro dollar. Now it doesn't have to get back up there. Of course, right now we're underneath the yellow zone as resistance. It will definitely have to get back above that yellow zone if we're going to see it back to the blue zone. We don't know if it'll even get above the yellow zone now. And of course, if it doesn't and turns back lower again, we know our target currently is the orange shaded area 115.45, 115.70 if it turns lower again. The trade we've been holding from all the way up here to the green shaded area, stop loss is just above the yellow zone. You can move it a little bit closer if you want to lock in some more profit, but we've been following profit anyways here for this currency pair for quite a while now. GBP USD pound dollar. Take a look at this. This is the best thing we can look at here on the daily time frame. The green zone, the blue zone for, let's count them out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days now. We have been challenging inside this period of congestion or ranging. It attempted last week to break out underneath it. It attempted last week to break out above it. We just haven't gotten out of here. I'm looking for a significant daily open and close. Now today opened, but now it's back inside. So we don't have a daily open and close outside of this period of congestion. That's what I'm waiting for here on the pound dollar. Until then, I'm not looking for anything new on this currency pair. Moving over to the USD CAD, we have been in an uptrend here for this currency pair. Moved through the 100 period moving average, through the black trend line. Clearly an uptrend. We go back to the left-hand side. Let me squeeze this out a little bit so you can see. There's that blue circle right there. We see historical support and resistance around the orange in the blue shaded area. 50% of the long-term downtrend sits at 1.2927, bottom of the blue zone. 382 of that same range sits at 127.23. That's the yellow shaded area. So I don't think, again, very similar to other pairs that we've already talked about. Euro dollar going up, dollar franc coming down. I don't think it's too difficult to see this take some sort of a pullback, similar to what it did here in the black box down here. Some sort of pullback back to the yellow shaded area wouldn't be out of the question, or maybe even back down towards the blue trend line in the pink shaded area above the 100 period moving average wouldn't be out of the question. Let's go ahead and zoom it in a couple of times here on the daily time frame. And again, we know that the orange zone, that's not too hard to see. The past 3 days have shown us that this is resistance. Don't buy it right now. That's probably the easiest thing to say. 128.40, 128.70, that's the orange zone. Don't buy it until or unless it breaks through the orange zone or pulls back yellow or pink. So we need some sort of pullback. Let's take it down to the 4 hour. Again, a sudden infusion of sell orders, I don't think it's difficult to say. As long as it's underneath that orange zone today, there could be an opportunity to go short towards the yellow shaded area. Look at that strong bearish move holding underneath 128.40. Your risk is pretty simple. You don't want it to get back above the orange zone if you take a short. So that's something I'm watching for today. Possible short opportunity targeting back down to the yellow zone. And then, of course, we'll look for the return of the uptrend if the market finds support once again for the dollar CAD. Moving over to the dollar yen, again, similar to the pound dollar, we're kind of stuck right now in somewhat of a range. We are still well within the parameters of an uptrend. That's the difference between this pair and the pound dollar, is this is clearly still an uptrend. There's nothing here telling us it's a change. One thing we want to notice is the circles back here, resistance highs, became significant reversal points where the two circles are, green and blue, and we're in that same area. So we're watchful for reversal. But we can't really call it reversal yet. So if we're going to trade the trend, let's go ahead and zoom it in on this. If we're going to trade the trend, that's the first thing. We want to buy dips to support. That lowest risk, highest reward opportunity, I think, would be down here towards the bottom of the blue box and the orange shaded area. That's your best opportunity to go short right now. Or sorry, go long right now in the direction of trend would be at the orange zone, 113.35, 113.15. Back above the yellow zone, of course, we would target the green zone or higher. If it gets above the green zone, of course, continuation of the uptrend. The risk now is that it breaks through the blue trend line, orange shaded area. So if you're going to go long, get as close as possible to the orange zone, the low 113s, target back to the yellow and the green zone. If you're looking to go short, obviously we're not at the green zone, maybe an intraday short under the yellow zone, take it down to the 4 hour time frame. We are holding underneath there today, so as long as it's underneath that yellow zone today, don't buy it, don't go long. You could be looking for intraday shorts, and that would work well with all of the other pairs that we've talked about. If we're looking for a pullback lower on the franc to buy it, if we're looking for a pullback lower on the USD CAD to buy it, we would also look for a pullback lower on the USD JPY to buy it. So if you think of the correlation of the US pairs across there, and even the pullback higher on the euro to go short, that makes sense for this to make a little bit of a dip down here towards the orange zone for the US yen. Moving over to the AUD USD, we've had a significant fall off on here for this currency pair. Take a look back here where the black circle is, blue shaded area, resistance. We're underneath that right now, 76.70, 76.90. So as long as it's underneath that blue zone, I think it's a difficult opportunity to go long and look for a reversal. And for the trend, we'd look for it to stay underneath there and head back down to the orange zone or lower into the low 76s. If it's going to go up, if it's going to pull back, retrace back to this last low, let me zoom in one time, this last low where the blue circle is, if we're going to see some retracement to that support, it needs to get above 76.90. 7,700. It needs to get above the blue zone if it's going to do that and make its way back to the green zone. And it hasn't done that. Clearly, down to the 4-hour time frame, we're underneath that blue zone. So as long as it's underneath there, I don't think I would look for a buy. If it breaks above 76.90, maybe a buy scenario back to the green zone. As long as it's underneath there, targeting back to the orange zone may be your best opportunity for the day on the Australian dollar. And lastly, over to the NZD USD, we've had a significant long-term trade that we've been following here for 2 weeks now on the New Zealand dollar. It's hesitated long enough for me to say, you know what, I'm going to close all the remaining portion of the trade. It was from all the way up there at 69.80. Just underneath the 7,000 level, and we had significant profit back down here towards the green shaded area and the blue shaded area. It's hesitated here long enough for me to just go ahead and close the remaining portion. So I'm out of that longer term New Zealand trade that we've been holding for a couple of weeks. Look at the blue and the black box to the left hand side of the chart. That really just shows the significance of this blue and green shaded area down here into the low 68. So we're stuck there now. Unless we get a pullback. Let's look for a pullback, an opportunity to go short again. At least right now, I'm going to hesitate for going short as long as we're above these supports. Maybe even watching for some evidence of reversal here from this area. We don't have anything giving me confidence in that yet, but at least right now, I'm not ready to stay short on the New Zealand dollar yet this week.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.